Video. There we go. Got a little tour coming.
What up, buddy?
You know. Good morning, the pirate and the sheik. You know.
I do know. It's 2023, man. It's been a while. It's been a minute. We took the holidays off, which was a good move. There's a lot of shitty trading towards the end of the year.
But I'll tell you one thing, trading has been hot.
It's been really hot. It's been really hot, especially since New Year's Eve into this last week was amazing.
Oh, all right. Dude, it's been I know you told me you were on fire.
Yes, sir.
Last week I had 8 winning trades. You never know about it, but you never know unless I was making videos and screaming on top of mountains. But
well, that's what this is for, bro. This is our show. How's everyone doing out there? Type in the chat. We miss y'all. It's good to be back. We're ready to crush 2023. Lots of money to be made this year, boy. Lots of money.
And it's already kicking off to be a good year. It's already kicking off. Lots of money.
You see this bullishness, right? I mean, people are
Jeff, people want to know what's your top 10 stocks of the year.
Oh God. If I could just I'm really more focused on finding one really good trade for the next 48 hours. The best stock of the year. Oh, I hate that question, man. I'm like, go ask the lady at the Publix counter that. Nothing against those people. They're great people, but it's just like the most lame question there is.
What's your top stock of the year?
What's your favorite stock? What's your favorite movies of 2020? Like all those questions, like, come on, man. Have a little more perspective, a little more nuance, right?
What's your top ETF? What's your top holding?
What people don't realize about us, and particularly Lance and I, is we're not evangelists. We're not like from the Church of EV. We don't give a shit about the pot revolution. We don't care about value stocks. We don't care about the Dow.
Oh God.
We want our trades to work right now. Now. Like you put it on and it works. And then you
by tomorrow.
Out. And then it keeps working and then you get out.
Yep.
I want to sit there. I don't want to sit there in the pain train and I have a theory and it's a theory and it's going to be unbelievable in the second quarter.
I'm holding this food stock and 68 days it's going to go up 2% and my calls are going to go up 4%. Ooh.
It's not us, bro.
No. There's some quick there has been some quick movers. Like I'll tell you, I've been day trading a lot. I've been trading my degenerate names again, the Nvidias, the Amazons, the Teslas, the AMDs. I bought some Marvel calls Friday. They got a nice upgrade. I got some Nvidia, Qualcomm. Like I'm back in the dice. You know, the fucking the mover, the degenerate stocks, the stocks that are down 40, 50, 60%, you know, last year.
Yeah.
Give me them. That's what I want.
Yeah, because that's what's going on, right? Like you see Uber this morning's up, 4%?
Yeah.
Like that. Uber's starting to rock and roll again. That's a good stock to trade.
Yeah. I had Lyft calls last week. Within 2 to 3 hours, they were up 40%. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Someone messaged me and I was like, oh. So I came back home and sold them.
Yeah, there's moves, right? There's even moves in oil. You got crude's up 3.5% pre-market. Gold. I've got a mining gold stock.
China.
Let's go. Let me share my screen. Let's look at some
Baba stuff. Upgraded this morning. All the China back.
So what have you been up to, dude? You've been hammering it home or what?
Well, I had a honey from
Boca. Year in Tampa. Been chopping wood.
Dude, no. So it started to get a little hotter, thankfully. Yeah. I had a honey from Boca come in town. She stayed with me a few days.
We went to Boca Babe. A Boca Babe, they call it. Boca Baby, if you're old like me.
Tan, leather skin. No, just kidding. We went to the Dali Museum.
Nice.
And, you know, I'm not very into art. You see, I got my art. I don't know if you guys can see from the wall from, Home Goods or whatever, but you know, that guy, I don't, the drugs that these guys must have been taking back then, like the acid and hallucinogens, crazy to see. Like, it looks like a photograph, and these people were drawing it. And I'm like, I don't know what Dolly was thinking, but give me
Look
some
what
of
I
that.
did. I had a football bet yesterday. I had a couple of parlays hit pretty good yesterday. I made about 1,900 in football betting yesterday.
So what are you going to do with that $1,900?
I'm going to reinvest it in the playoffs.
Exactly.
I need
Exactly.
more money. I need more. But so I just a little teaching moment, just a teaching moment. This is my favorite time of year in sports and football betting in particular. If you look at some of these, if you look at these names, the Lions were the outlier. They surprised everybody on the pack last night. I like to put together some pretty obvious shit, like the Buffalo Bills are very good, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the Niners are good, and then take like one
But
outlier pick. So it's like almost like if you have like a portfolio and you've got like an Apple, which is kind of a boring stock like the Bills or something, but it's if the market's good, Apple's good, right? But you got to get the juice, to get the big return. You got to have a Detroit Lions in your stock trading. You got to have it. You got to have a stock people didn't see coming. You got to have an option that's not priced to perfection, like everything's going to happen in your favor. So that's how you get these juiced returns. Is what I'm trying. This is a teachable moment for you people out there.
you got a couple February call options, right?
Right.
That are
Right.
like $5-6, expensive, that are at the money. And then you got your weekly Tesla out the money call option that
That's
if
right.
Musk tweets something and the stock goes up 10%, you're gonna 5x your money.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So you got to find, and I like to think about this in the stock market too. What is it that everyone's sure about that's correct, but it's not even like being fully priced in yet? Like what stock is up a lot but could go up a lot higher, for instance, because people think it's crazy. And then also like what is it that people think is got to happen but doesn't necessarily, like Aaron Rodgers to win last night. That has to happen. But anybody who's watched the Packers this year, they've sucked. They pretty much suck. They got on a little bit of a roll, but they've sucked. So this assumption that just because the credibility, the past, same thing in the stocks. All this like there's a stock on my radar, for instance. I'll show it to you right now. This stock sucks right now.
Softy.
Softy
Yeah.
sucks. Look
They've
at
been
this
getting
chart.
picked up, tossed around the bush.
Look at this chart. Look how bullish we've been. Look at this chart, bro.
Even those other tech names started to bounce. Your other tech names, but Microsoft hasn't. No
Nope.
love. And it's got such a big weight too,
Massive. But if you want to hedge out some of your stuff on the long side, this might not be a bad one to buy some puts in because they're still pretty cheap. Everyone expects these guys to still be okay. And they think this down move that we went from what? 265 down to 224. That's it. That's the end of it. This was $100 stock, $150 stock pre-COVID. And all their growth's been in the cloud. And that's a boring story. That's an old story, right?
Yeah, the only hope they have now is that AI stuff, and that probably won't start catching on until a few more months.
Exactly. So it's still a boring company, right? Like it's a slow growth company, but they're trading at almost a 25 PE when everything else is getting killed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, you could
yeah,
do.
we like to have ideas out here. Food for thought.
I'll give you a little bit of a Monday wiretap trio.
Let's look at
So it's kind of like we'll do our leaders and laggers. The lagger in the back of the
let's look at charts. We'll look at options towards the open. What's
right. The back of the horse race coming in at the rear is Microsoft. The leader is PayPal, the number one horse.
Dude, it's almost like we're trading the same portfolio.
3 G's on it, so I need it to go up. I bought it my retirement. I bought a note on it, structured note. So I get like, X amount return as long as it doesn't go down 50%. So I put 40 G's in.
Yeah.
But starting to be very happy because look at the piggy starting to wake up.
Well, this is what I like. I like when you've consolidated towards the bottom here, and then you make a new high, and you're getting higher than the previous high. Now we just have to see that thing get firmly above 80, which I think will happen this month. and you're back off to the races. Then you're challenging this, no problem, this territory. Because remember, if you look at this stock,
It used to be a monster.
this is a $300 stock. These guys went from $300 down to 70s. You know,
Yeah, it used to be a monster. So, and what else do we have upcoming? So, obviously a lot of people are going to want to buy stocks this morning and probably this week because it's quote unquote safe. Obviously after the big rally Friday, everyone's
Right.
gonna be, oh, stocks are safe again. I better get in. And then it'll be too late. So
Yeah.
what we'll probably do is that you'll start seeing these strong names. So you're like your PayPal, your Squares, maybe even some of the China stocks, the names that have bounced, and you'll see them
Jack
start.
Ma turned up in Thailand. The guy's been hiding out in Thailand.
Oh, I saw that. You'll probably see a lot of these names consolidate, so trade sideways,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. And then what's going to be the catalyst, to get those 10, 20% moves and these, high beta names? You have earnings. You're kicking off earnings season. Yeah, you have the boring banks. I think Friday. So
Yeah.
you probably are 2 to 4 weeks before you start getting the horse and pony show starting to report.
Yeah, let's look. Yeah, this week we got JP Morgan. Is that this week? Yeah, 13th.
Yeah, I think you got the banks. Some of them start reporting.
You got UAL. Next week you start to get Netflix, Fast.
There we go. Yeah. So
And we get
Netflix,
into the fun.
you'll start getting like Netflix. You'll get some Intel, and then in a couple weeks later, you get the
You get Softy.
Facebook.
You get Softy. That could be a nice.
Softy.
Yeah.
Softy.
Hopefully it runs up before that to lace them out.
Yeah,
See, these are situations we like, right? We like to forecast what we would like to see happen. I would love a big rally in Microsoft, a nice squeeze, because I would lay some puts out for that earnings.
put some puts, see if it breaks that the prior swing low.
Yep.
Kind
It's
of like
gonna be exciting. I mean, it's been a slow start. We obviously took a little bit of time off because we had a lot of other projects to start the year with our own trading and our own services and everything. But
Yep.
one thing I really wanted to let everybody that's watching this know is that in this coming year, you're gonna see this pirate from the Bay side of Florida and myself. We're gonna be working a lot. We're gonna be working a lot together. We're gonna be more focused because we trade the same, man. Like not a lot of people trade like us. A lot of people like to do things that are a little bit more long term. They're a little bit more concerned with fundamentals. So I feel like sometimes I'm speaking Chinese to people and they're talking back to me in Greek. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. And they don't know what the heck I'm talking about. They look at me like I have three heads. They're like, why is this guy so concerned with making money? I'm like, well, that's because, I'd rather do that than be right. I don't give a shit about being right. But Lance he's from, my school of thought. And so we put our heads together and we said, you know what? Instead of having all these conversations all the time about stuff we don't care about, know about, want to talk about, let's just do more trading stuff. Let's do stuff we like. And let's focus on that because I feel like you guys out there like this stuff too.
If you guys finance class or economics 101, I'm sure the local university will charge you a few grand to take some classes where you can learn about interest rates and money supply and put your money in a bond and maybe in 6 months your call options and the Russell will move, but
yeah, it may sound like we're making fun of some people because we are.
But we're very short-term traders. Heck, we were in Atlantic Beach betting on Ford and freaking AMD weekly calls. Like that's how that's how short-term we are. So we just
that's the projects. That's the projects we've got for sure.
Yeah. What do we do, Jeff? We do not stock picks, right? We don't write like stock long-term reports. We send out via text, email, telegram, and people want trades and they want lots of trades. I know you trade a lot too.
Yeah,
obviously. I do. They want trades, want to take them, they can. If they don't, that's up to them, but they want to see action. That's what I want. I want action. I bought 5 scratch offs today. The lotto, $20 because I want action. I want that throw. And that's what we're trying to bring, more interaction, which I think is good because obviously that's how you learn and and by seeing us do it over and over again, but also, very short-term trading. We don't know what's going to happen next month or 6 months down the road. We don't know if the stock market's going to straight up or straight down, and no one does. But at least we could give you guys.
And it doesn't matter. The
Right,
beauty of it is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're gonna find something that's working at that point in time, anyways. We're not stuck in like this mentality, which is what bothers me.
And let's say we start trending, right? And everything is the economy's booming or the markets start booming. Then we could maybe hold some trades for maybe 2 to 3 weeks longer term and try to get some of the more meat and potatoes out the move. But until something like that happens and the current environment is, up, down, you got to trade short term and not be stock. When it's safe out there, it's going to be probably, too late, but also
this market has had a pattern, Lance, of lulling people into complacency, right? So the beauty of like us, right? I'll say it like this. We've had a bit of a bullish move all of a sudden last week, right? It looks like it's going to continue for the time being. But what's going to happen is it's going to lull people into this investment mentality again. And we recognize that it's happening, that it's bullish, and are trading bullish positions and making money on it. We also recognize that we could have the NASDAQ get topped out up here like close to 11,000 and then fall the heck out, like just drop that shit, like drop it like it's hot. We won't be caught by surprise by that, right? So that's one of the main differences. People down here are getting the long-term people down here are going, oh no, like it's going to be bearish. And then this happens and they're like, wait, check that. Very bullish. Let's add more. And they add, and then it falls again and then flip. So they're constantly against the big moves in the tape.
And the reason because of that is a lot of
the reactionary is the main reason. They want to be right all the time, in my opinion.
That's an ego thing that a lot of you guys won't read in a book or watch on CNBC or anything. A lot of these former like portfolio managers or these people who did very well 20, 30 years ago or something, they're so hard-headed because it's an ego thing where they have to be right. Like, for example, earlier in 2022, you had people, because the stock market, went straight up until January 4th of 2022, they were thinking every dip, no, we're still in a bull market. We're still in a bull market.
Oh, last year we had people we know pretty well. They were just like, oh yeah, buy this dip. It's not a bear market. It's not a bear market. It's not a bear market. And then finally, they were forced to recognize that it was a bear market. But instead of understanding like, yeah, it's been that the whole time and adapting, they adapted too late and missed out like on the fact that you can buy stocks in a bear market. There's just a way to do it. You don't buy them when they're breaking out. You buy them when they're going to hell.
Right. And that's what, and let's say the market starts, moving up. Let's just be optimistic. Again, we don't know, sure, but let's just say over the next 1 to 3 weeks, the market is steadily going up. Nothing crazy. It's a good bullish trend.
Yeah.
Those people who, I get all these newsletters from people and
Me too.
stuff up there. Do I think there are a lot of idiots out there and then some people smart? Yeah, sure. But that's opinions, right?
It's normal life. Yeah.
All those people were super bearish who are loading up on puts or shorting, let's say Tesla or Netflix or tech, and all these bulls out there who flip, or bears out there who flipped. When the market bounces 10, 15%, they're, like you said, they're going to be so hard-headed saying, no, the economy's bad. We got to go back down again. They're going to miss out on some of the easiest move.
Well, that's why we talked about like, okay, so what stocks are good? Like what's moving now, right? So let me just look at these economic numbers super fast because I know you don't like it that much, but it's just good to know for like the rest of the week what can move. We had that jobs number last week on Friday. Whatever, market moved on that. Not a big jobs number. It's just a weekly jobs number. It's coming on the 12th. So you can expect some movement because jobs are kind of everything right now. It's like the last place that you still see inflation. I was trying to explain to this communist buddy of mine who plays golf with me that services and job inflation is sticky because he's like a Biden like apologist, this dude I golf with.
Oh.
And I was like, well, you gotta understand, he's like, oh, it's all structural. It was all because of COVID. It's all because of labor. it's all because of this, it's all because of that. And I'm like, no, it's because there was a money supply. They gave everybody free money. People got lazy, they got fat, they got rich, they didn't want to work. Nobody wants to work. And the one thing that people don't do is take less money to do the same shit. Once they get used to making $50,000 a year doing something, they
Not
ain't
gonna,
gonna go do it for $40,000 a year,
no.
unless they have to. And that's just not the situation right now. So jobs numbers, one you have to pay attention to. Obviously, CPI is coming out on the same day, so that's going to be a big earnings morning. So anything you have into that number, into those numbers that morning, the night before, just be extra careful. My opinion.
Yeah, and we haven't obviously you have the banks, which are boring, won't influence much, but you also too, and I don't think it's been getting a lot of credit, is you have other markets out there that have been very, very strong. If you look at like at Europe out there,
Let's
obviously,
look. Look international. Let's look international. I love doing that.
yeah, that was leading to
Look at
start
this.
off the year. They were really
6.5% last week in Euro stocks. That's incredible. That's a
it's a
massive.
huge move. The European banks have moved insane too, by the way.
Look
If
at
you
the Hang Seng up 8% last week.
Yep.
The
That's-
Nasdaq was up 1%, less than 1%.
and that's after the big rally on Friday. Remember that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Massive laggards. Massive laggards. Now, granted, they've traded already this Monday ahead of us, so we'll add hypothetically here before the open. But who knows? We've been coming in bullish a lot because of the bullishness abroad and then fading. That's one day trading pattern that I've seen a lot. So if you look at like S&P futures, I don't trade these. I used to professionally, but I don't recommend that people do. If you look at the S&P futures and the pattern of that, because it'll be, it's good to know for your stock trading. We've just been having this pattern. Friday we had the big number, so that was an outlier. But we'd have bid up from 4 a.m. till 8 a.m. and then boom, look at that, Lance, just straight down. And then they try to buy it again midday. But that's been a pattern. Let's see if that pattern holds up today. We're bid up this morning. I think we might fade on the open. Same thing happened the day before, Jan 4. Same thing happened the 3rd. So three out of the 4 trading days last week, you had strong futures pre-market that didn't last.
Right around I've noticed right around 20 minutes after the open, we've had just because I remember I was in some trades, I was in some snap calls.
Do you want to share the screen at all, Lance? You look like you're at your trading terminal.
No, you're on my phone. I'm saving the trades for the paid people.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I've noticed though, because me and Jess send out all our trade alerts, and we're actually trading, by the way. I had like some snap calls, and I put them out at the open at 150. They were 150. I never got tagged, and I'm like, what the, wasn't even a 10 lot too. It wasn't even like big position, right?
Yeah.
So then the market starts fading, and I sell the calls at 140. By the time I go to like send the alert, so it usually takes me 60 seconds or so to write, and then we send it to the team who do the emails and all that stuff. Like, stock went from up like 2.5% to flat on the day, and I was like, damn, like that's a 2.5% move just because it fell 30 points or so in the meantime. So but it's a double-edged sword, right? At the open, you've been having it to sell, but you've also had a chance to reload and buy puts and catch an intraday move. Like I've been buying puts on Amazon intraday, like at the money weekly puts.
That's another one of the stocks like Microsoft that's lagging.
And when it tanks, like even when the market's been holding, you could have Amazon down 1.5–2% or so, and implied vol is actually still pretty cheap in the options. So
let's look at that. Let's just look at that a little bit let's dive more into some stocks here with the last few minutes we have before the open.
And they're fun because Amazon, for example, like this week it's implying a $3 move. Well, it's $86, $87 stock. That's not that crazy.
No, it's 3–4% move it's implying.
Right. So if you're trading the weekly options, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. By the way, Marvel almost $1 now, and I got weekly calls. Those are going to explode. But you can get some nice moves in a short amount of time. Obviously, if you're trading weekly options, don't go all in, because it can work against you too. But
Yeah.
as a trader, and for the short term trades, I mean, damn, there's been some fantastic moves.
And I expect them to continue. January is always a month where you get lots of action, but I really just want to implore people to be fluid, man. Be fluid.
Yeah.
So people are looking at this. This has a lot of upside. This Marvel can go. This is an example of a stock that I was talking about earlier, where you get a nice move. NVIDIA also. Let's look at NVIDIA real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, NVIDIA is the other one. AMD. I bought a lot of Intel too on Friday.
Look at this chart. This is an excellent chart, NVIDIA, from a bullish perspective. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this gap as being very, very easy to fill. Like, it's not, it's not an earth-shattering move. It's another 10.5% move, but it could do that this week. It could do it in a really short period of time, is the point that I'm making.
Yeah, and that's what you want, short-term moves to capture, and then you obviously leverage yourself with call options. I mean, that's how Wells Fargo came out today, by the way. Did you read that, and upgraded the chips?
I did, yeah.
That was obviously.
Look at this weekly call. Well, yeah, I don't know. Implied. Yeah, they're kind of more expensive, but not crazy. Not too crazy.
Jim, I got to get going here in like a minute. Do you
Yeah.
have any final words, or I guess we should share the people. They'll be seeing some real big changes from us in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You guys will see more of us independent, more together, more trading, less, kind of, what do they call them, talking heads, and more actual like interaction, stuff like that. So I think you guys will really enjoy that, because the market's been fantastic, and I feel like no one's talking about trading. People are talking about what's next for the.
Well, no, all our people here, man, they've been crushing all week. You've been crushing. You've been smacking it out of the park. I've been destroying it with the burn notice. You've been destroying it with wiretaps, with blitz. It's been nonstop almost. I don't know if people notice these things. I don't know if they realize that it's not normal to like go 5 in a row. Like, this is good stuff. And it's just, in all fairness, it's because the market is starting a new year. It's rocking and rolling. There's action. There's stuff to do. But at least I want everyone out there to recognize that there are action traders in house. So you don't have to go looking off the reservation for ideas. We've got ideas. We've got you covered. But we don't all do the same thing. Some people, in our, I don't know how to even describe it, in our universe are more fundamentally oriented and more long-term oriented. Some people are writers. I don't know how to write. I write texts to people and they're like, Jeff, did you graduate 4th grade? And I'm like, well, I was cheating, but it worked out.
Guys know. Maybe the robots will start. Maybe robots to write my emails, but
Yeah, some people like writing like Gone with the Wind novels about the stock market. The stock market isn't like some romantic entity. It's a shit show with monsters like me and Lansfield in it that are trying to shake you down and take all your money. So I don't know how you can get romantic about that, but we can teach you how to do like what we do and what the slick, smart people do out there to make dough. Protect yourselves. And don't go getting into like some sort of like groove of just like thinking it has to be one way. Stay flexible, stay fluid, and stay active. And that's what we're going to do in 2023. And we're going to bring you a lot more of it. So thank you for being patient with us through the holidays. We recharged like hell. You can tell, I think. And it's the playoffs, baby. Let's make some money. Let's make some money.
Get someone to, I don't know if we have anyone working in the chat, but can we get someone to save the chat or to chat stuff? If we so, that would be great. I don't know if we do, but if we do, if we don't, we do if we can. Yay, that would be fantastic. All right, I gotta go.
All right, peace. Have a great day, guys. Let's make some money. Talk to you soon.
A little bit. Holla.